Okay, so the first talk is on soundly handling linearity. It is also a distinguished paper award, and Wenhao will tell us more about it.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, I'm Wenhao. I'm a PhD student at the University of Edinburgh.
Mike?
And I'm going to talk about how to soundly handle linearity, and this is joint work with Daniel, Sam, Garrett. Okay, so linear types is a very useful feature. It guarantees that something must be used exactly once.
Can one turn the mic higher? Could you also move the mic closer to?
Hello, hello.
No, it doesn't seem on.
Hello. Yeah. Okay, so linear types is a very useful feature. It guarantees that something can only be used exactly once, and it's used in some real-world languages and some research languages. Effect handlers is another very useful feature. It allows us to define and compose a wide range of computational effects, and it is used in some real-world languages and some research languages. And links, a research language meaning developed in Edinburgh, has both these features, but links is broken because linear types say that I guarantee something is going to be used exactly once, while effect handlers say that I give you first-class continuations, and you can use them anytime you want. So my talk is about how to make them happy with each other. So we first take a closer look at the problem in links. Links uses linear types to implement session types. For example, we can write a sender function. It takes a channel endpoint C, which has type boundInt.end, which means send a value of type int and then end the communication. And we use the send operation to send 42 on the channel C and close the remaining channel C prime. We can write a receiver function which takes a channel C of type *int.end, which means receive a value type int and then end. And we can use the receive operation to receive an integer I from the channel endpoint C, closes remaining channel endpoint C prime, and print the integer I. And we use the fork to collect the sender and receiver. So the 42 is sent and received and printed. Okay, linear types are solved in links. It is really hard to break it. For example, if we have a linear endpoint C and we use it twice by passing it to sender twice, we get a type error saying that we can't use a variable of linear type twice. If we try to capture it in a function and use the function twice, we get another type error saying that we can't capture a linear variable in a nonlinear function. And if we capture it in a linear function, well, obviously we'll get another type error saying that we can't use a linear function twice. So, well, yeah, it is very hard to break safety of linear types, but it is not impossible with the help of effect handlers, which give us a very flexible way to manipulate the control flow. For example, we can write a non-deterministic printer. It uses the choose operation to decide whether to print 42 or 84. And in the function type, we have an effect type, which contains the operation label choose and its signature unit to bool, which means this operation takes no parameter and returns a Boolean value. And we can write a handler for it in links. Here, the variable r is the continuation of the choose operation, and we invoke the continuation once with value true, so 42 is chosen and printed. We call this a one-shot handler because the continuation r is used only once. We can also use the continuation r twice, so both 42 and 84 are printed. And this is a multi-shot handler. This is a multi-shot handler, and we can use it to break the safety of linear types. So this is the same receiver function as we have seen before, and we can write a non-deterministic sender. it uses the choose operation to decide whether to send 42 and 84. And if we handle the choose operation using a multi-shot handler by invoking the continuation twice, we'll get a runtime error saying that there is some channel not found. And this is because the continuation of choose captures the channel endpoint C, and during the first invocation of the continuation, the channel C is already closed, so we can't find it in the second execution of the continuation. So this has been a long-standing bug in Linux. It is first mentioned in this issue, opened in 2019 by Daniel. And so we want to fix this by tracking a new notion of linearity called control flow linearity. Okay, so before we get into control flow linearity, let's revisit what is value linearity. It restricts how we can use a value, or it characterizes whether a value can contain some linear resources or not. In a call calculus, which we call FF-POP, we define linearity as either a circle, which means linear, or a bullet, which means unlimited. And we track the linearity of value types using their kinds. So an int is an unlimited type, and a session type is a linear type, and a pair of a session type and int is also a linear type. And a linear function whose function arrow has a circle on it is also a linear type. And on terms, we also need to allocate lambda abstractions with their linearity. So here, the second lambda abstraction is allocated to be a linear function because it captures a linear variable C that is bound outside. And then, well, we have the same problem as in Linux because we only track value linearity. And this is exactly the same program as the non-deterministic sender. So the highlighted part is the continuation of truth, and it captures a linear variable C. And if we handle it using a multi-shot handler by invoking the continuation R twice, it is well tapped, but we actually abuse the linear variable C. So to resolve this, we need to try control flow linearity, which restricts how many times the control may enter a local context. Or it characterizes whether a local context can capture some linear resources or not. So for example, for the non-deterministic sender, the continuation of truth is a control flow linear local context because it captures a linear variable. And we track this information in the effect type. The truth is annotated as a control flow linear operation, which essentially means that the continuation of truth is control flow linear. And on the terms, we also annotate net bindings with the control flow linearity of the local context is introduced. So for the first net binding, the local context is introduced is exactly the continuation of truth, and it is linear because it captures the linear variable C. And for the second one, it is also linear as it also captures C. And for the last one, it can be unlimited because it does not capture any linear resources outside. Yeah, so now we are done. We track the control flow linearity for the operation truth. And then if we want to handle the truth operation using a multi-shot handler, we'll get a type error because now we know that truth is a control flow linear operation. So the continuation function R is going to have a linear function type, which cannot be used twice. Okay, so we have the linearity annotation on operation signatures, and we lift them to the whole effect type. One thing worth mentioning is that there is a subcanding relation between the kinds of effect type. It is from control flow linear to control flow unlimited. And this is intuitive because say that you have some control flow linear operations. They guarantee the control may only enter their continuation just once, so we can use them in any context we want. But for values, the subcanding relation is actually the reverse because say that if we have some unlimited values, we can use them exactly once. So there is some kind of duality between control flow linearity and value linearity. And this is essentially because value linearity tells us something about values themselves, while control flow linearity tells us something about the continuations or the context of some operations. Okay, so that's how it works in FFPOP, and we have implemented it in Linux. This is the previous program with a runtime error, and after checking control flow linearity, it becomes a type error, seeing that we can't use a linear variable twice. So yeah, it needs some annotations, but that's okay. And yeah, and it is merged in the main branch of Linux, so we can now close the issue and I'll close it. Okay, yeah, that's very good. We have fixed the bug that is from 4 years ago. But are we satisfied? Well, not really, because we still need some term annotations on the syntax. So for example, if we consider this function, it is almost the identity function, but it prints 42 every time. And in FFPOP, you can give it 10 different types, and none of them is the most general one. This is very annoying. So we proposed another call calculus called Qeff. It uses qualified types to combine all these 10 types into only one type with a constraint. And it also supports effect subtyping. What's interesting is that we found effect subtyping is very useful to make the tracking of control flow linearity more precise. If you want to know why, ask me later. Yeah. Okay, so that's all. We have more things in the paper. We have the formalization of these two call calculus. One thing worth mentioning is for QFPOP, we use qualified types to do both linear types and effect types based on some previous work. And we have a type inference for it, which does not require any annotation at all. Yeah. Okay, so and my takeaway is consider tracking control flow linearity if you want to have both linear types and effect handlers in your languages. Thank you.
Working now?
Hello.
Oh, his mic is still not working. Can someone check that it's on for a start? One of the student volunteers? Or someone? No, it's definitely not working. Can someone turn it on, maybe?
Keep that mic with the speaker.
Okay.
So, I heard about some prior work by Olivier Donvy, back to direct style, where he observes that if you convert a term into continuation passing style, the continuations are used linearly after the transformation. And such terms can be converted back to direct style. I'm not sure if the notion originated with him, but it sounds to be related because the continuations, of course, are functions, and they're typed linearly after the transformations. Is there a connection with your notion of control flow linearity?
Yeah, I think they are related, since a control flow linear continuation is essentially a linear function. But I guess one difference is we also use the terminology control flow linearity for operations, which refers to the linearity of their continuation function.
So yeah, we have time for question. I guess if no one asks, we'll take a break to synchronize. You can also ask via Discord, but I don't think we have questions there either. Oh, okay. How do we do that? And you repeat it, yeah?
Are you allowed to discard the linear continuations, or is it affine, or is it actually linear?
They are linear, yeah. They are not affine, yeah, but it is. Oh, the question is, are the continuations linear or affine? And in our current formalization, they are linear, but it should be standard to extend it to affine types. Hello. Oh, yeah, it works.
In the meanwhile, it seems we solved even the mic problem. So if there are no more questions, I guess we can thank the speaker again.